This is going to be a video where we take all 20 of the teams in the Premier League and we just throw a player in there that we think would fit well in that team and would help fix that team. It's more or less not too realistic, but it's also a thing where it's realistic in the sense to where it would make sense for that player to go to that team. Either they get playing time or to move up a level. Also to note, some of these, like from my list, has players going from one Premier League team to another. It's like, it's not saying like this team, obviously there's players that are valuable to those teams. So in that scenario, we're not saying like they're going to get replaced or anything like that. We're just like they would fit there better. You know what I mean? Okay. So it's not like much of like, oh, who's going to replace them then? It's like that argument is like, there's no need of that.
We're not worried about that.
Yeah, we're not worried about any of that. Okay. So we're going to take the best fits that we think would help out each team in the Premier League team or in the Premier League. So all 20. We're going to go alphabetical order. But before we start that, hit that goddamn like button and subscribe. Let's do this. Next, we are going to move on to Chelsea. All right. So my pick is a Lazio player, even though he recently just moved to Lazio, but I think he would be a great addition to them. It's Francisco Acerbi. I think I said that his last time, right? Acerbi?
I think
or is it?
I think it's Acerbi.
Acerbi.
I could be wrong, but I think
who just moved from Sassuolo to Lazio, but a great defender. What I think they lack is in the air or air defense, I guess is what you want to call it. And right now in aerial duels, he's at a 71 win rate. So that's pretty good. He's also a great passer out of the back because they like doing that as well. I just think he would be a great addition to that. And he wins a lot of tackles as well. So
For Chelsea, I focused on the back line. I originally had Kalidou Koulibaly from Napoli. I think that Chelsea would be, as long as Maurizio Sarri is still there, I think they would be in a prime position to kind of poach Napoli's players in general. So I went with Koulibaly. Koulibaly seems to be one of the more rumored center backs to be on the move. And I think they could really they're going to need to replace David Luiz. It doesn't appear that Sarri has much faith in Christensen. Who else is there? Rudiger. Yeah. So I think what they need is a partner for Rudiger, because I think Rudiger is going to be the one. It appears anyway, just based on who's been getting playing time, that Chelsea currently see Rudiger as like their foundation in the back line. Or maybe, and then so I also, while you were speaking of earlier teams, I thought that maybe they could move Azpilicueta back into the central defense, like to be a center back, and bring in another fullback. And so I went with Alex Telles, who is the left back from Porto, Brazilian left back from Porto. I think that he could be a better option than Marcos Alonso has turned out to be, which is why I went with him.
Yeah, I would think they would need a right back over a left back.
I would imagine that Marcos Alonso could play both sides if he needed to. I'm sure Telles could as well. Okay. But yeah, you're right. Predominantly maybe
I'm
a
not
right
sure,
back.
Yeah, with their capability, like I've never.
On the right side, I mean, I'm not sure who that would be. They could take maybe Hakimi, I think is his last name, from Dortmund. But when I first started thinking of some of the names I was going to be putting down, Dortmund, I'm trying to think of like a lot of the good youngsters at Dortmund. But I think the problem with that now is that like they could win the league, and I think that'll make it difficult for them.
I think another problem too is like actually everyone on that lineup is actually playing. Like, yeah, it seems like that whole squad, it's like they can play and everyone's getting a fair share of time. Most of them, like you're not just like not everyone's just sitting on the bench.
I would also maybe throw out Ricardo Pereira. I think that he's a better right back than. I think he's a better right back than Leicester.
Yeah, that'd be a good shout too. Yeah.